What is up, everyone? Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes video, and today I'm going to be talking about Young Marth's upcoming weapon refine of Brilliant Rapier, as well as Phina's weapon refine, well, lack of weapon refine and being skipped. I'll be talking more about my thoughts on Phina near the end of the video, but yeah, I'm just going to be talking about some of my hopes and expectations and thoughts on what Brilliant Rapier could bring to the table. So yeah, Young Marth is getting his weapon refine. I've never been so excited and disappointed with a weapon refine because of Phina being skipped. But yeah, just going to be talking about what they could do with Young Marth, because Young Marth he's one of my favorite units in Fae of all time, honestly. In 2020 Fae, when he released, that was such a crazy good time for Arcania fans with that the first, child banner, the Star of It All banner. And I think I'm not sure if he was the first seasonal demo, but he definitely was one of the first ones. And he was it was just pure bliss using Young Marth, and he was so good back then. And this build right here, it was pretty much the go-to build for Young Marth for people who did +10 him, because Special Spiral looped with Hero's Blood and you're able to get advantage with it, so it made him a really good sweeper. You can run Defense Smoke and Brazen to maximize his damage output, and it was just a lot of fun. Obviously he's fallen off and he's not that great anymore, but with this weapon refine I hope he can kind of rise back up, because he was my best Marth, and he was the best Marth for a while. This was before Brave Marth existed. It was before Legendary Marth got a weapon refined. So Young Marth was the best one, Baby Marth, and it was just so fun. And when I started posting videos to my channel for Fae back in 2021, he was my main guy, the main carry in Marth clears when I first started posting those. So I'm hoping I can start using him more in the clears, because I haven't used him in a clear in a long time. I don't even remember the last time I used him. I've been using base Marth even more just for the stat support that Falchion gives. But yeah, I'm just excited for this weapon refine. Now, in terms of what it could actually do and what kind of effects they could add onto it, and there isn't that much inspiration we can take from when it comes to Rapier in the main games, because Rapier in the main games, it doesn't have Vantage, but it does have the dual effectiveness, obviously. And Rapier, as you guys know, is usually the starting weapon for a lot of characters in main lords, so it's not the craziest weapon. It's still good, obviously, but it's not insane. I mean, obviously weapons in the main series aren't going to be as stacked as weapons in Fae. They don't have really long descriptions, but Rapier has always been a pretty basic weapon. I think the craziest it's been is probably in Shadows of Valentia, when it had a couple skills that you could learn from it. It had Subdue, Destreza, I don't know if I'm saying that right, which had fatal hits, and then also I think Shadow Gambit, which allowed you to ignore terrain, which I don't think they're going to go in that direction with weapon refine, because first of all, that's from Shadows of Valentia, and Marth is not a Valentian character, so I don't think they're going to do that. But I guess they could. But overall, I don't think the weapon refine is going to be that crazy. Why do I think it's not going to be that insane? Well, two reasons. One, Marth is a seasonal demo, and two, because he's been in Hall of Form, so that could factor in on how crazy the weapon refine can be, because generally speaking, they give better weapon refines to 5-star exclusive units. I mean, there's not a few, but there's been examples of demotes getting really good refines, recently with like Echidna and stuff. But Young Marth, I don't expect it to be insane, like maybe not even as good as Brave Marth or as insane as Tangrister and Winter Marth. But that brings me to my next point, which is kind of the hope or the wishful thinking that I have for this weapon refine, is that they make it similar to Tangrister. So make it kind of like, they could do this, but I doubt it, but basically give him the reverse desperation / dive bomb in the weapon as a sword unit, so he'd kind of be like the melee counterpart / version to his winter version, which would be insane, and it would make him kind of like an infantry version of his wife's legendary version, with what Cheetah can do with Faithful Loyalty, because she obviously also has the dual effectiveness. So that could be something they could do, and that'd be really, really amazing, because it'd make Young Marth unique when it comes to sword infantry. And obviously there's Brave Marth that can do the Vantage sweeping, but his doesn't hit twice in a row, and it also requires setup, so it'd be a little different. And yes, it'd be redundant, but that's what Marth does. He's known for Vantage, and that's what him and his wife are known for. And if you're wondering why Marth and Cheetah have so many Vantage effects, because it's pretty much a reference to Fire Emblem 12 having Lunatic Reverse. In that game mode, all the enemies attack first, so they've translated that to Fae, which I really like, because I really love Vantage strategies. So if you're keeping the Vantage effect, you might as well double down and give him the reverse desperation, which again, I don't think they're going to do, but they definitely could. It would make him really insane. Maybe not insane, but it would make him really unique when it comes to sword infantry, because obviously they can add more effects. The thing about it is Rapier doesn't have -1 cooldown, neither does Tangrister, but Tangrister kind of makes up for it with the +1, so I guess they could give that to Rapier, but I doubt it. Obviously he's going to get extra stats, which is going to be a given, but maybe true damage. Maybe they could even give him no follow-up. Who knows what they can do for it, because like I mentioned, Rapier is kind of a basic weapon. Even in Engage, with all the crazy effects, Rapier just has like plus 20 avoid, and obviously in Fae you can't miss. So like I mentioned, in terms of what you can pull from the main series, there isn't that much really that Rapier could lean towards, but that is one thing they could definitely double down on, no pun intended, with the reverse desperation / dive bomb effect they could do. Again, I doubt it, but that would be really crazy for young Marth. So yeah, I don't really have any other, I mean, there's just, like I mentioned, no follow-up. You could just slap on effects that you see in weapon refines to make them better. Maybe, I don't know, damage reduction piercing, which I doubt it, but that could be a thing. True damage to maybe synergize with special spiral, I don't know. There's a lot of things they can do with it. I just hope they maintain Rapier's identity, you know, with it being a vantage weapon with dual effectiveness. So there's a lot of ways they can buff young Marth, but I don't think they're going to go that crazy on it with the things I mentioned. But if they do the reverse desperation dive bomb effect like Winter Marth has, that'd be insane, and that would be a lot of fun. So those are kind of my hopes and expectations for young Marth's refine. And you know, when his refine does drop, I'll be making a video analysis and first impressions on it, of course, like I've been doing with the past few Marth refines. All right, so now on to Phina's weapon refine, or lack of weapon refine, and why they skipped her refine. And we all know why. Intelligent Systems is just kind of lazy, and they just don't refine dancers and healers, and we don't know why. I think I've mentioned this in videos before, but my theory is the reason they don't do it is, one, partially because they're lazy, and two, I think it's because I guess it's kind of hard to make dancers like unique, because a lot of the effects that dancers have, or even refined dancers have, are already taken. But it's not like you have to make Rapier supportive, you know, because if it's the same weapon as Marth, then it's fine. It would just make Phina offensive dancer, and we've definitely had offensive oriented dancers before, so Phina doesn't have to have insane support like Plumeria has in this batch, right, with her remix giving Hexblade to people. We're not asking for that. We just want you guys to throw a bone to dancers so they can get something. And Phina definitely deserves it. She's my favorite dancer in the series. She's the first dancer in the Fire Emblem series, so it's really sad to see her get skipped. And you know, I was hoping they would both get it at the same time, but again, they just skipped her. So it's just sad, because like, we've had things like this in the past with Winter Altina getting a weapon refine pretty early, along with her mythic version, and her weapon refine is really, really good. So why couldn't Phina get it? Well, yeah, it's because they skipped dancers. So I guess that's the reason. But it's just laziness, in my opinion. And I mean, there's still hope for her to get it sometime later down the line, maybe even next month. I doubt it, but someday I hope Phina can get the justice she deserves with getting the refine, because it hurts, especially the fact that Phina was in the game before young Marth, so she's waiting for it even longer. And yeah, it's just sad. I know some people, like, there's been some kind of dumb arguments against her, like, well, Marth has had the Rapier way before Phina, because Phina didn't exist as a character until Fire Emblem 3, which is kind of a dumb argument, because we're talking about in the context of Fae, not really in the context of the main series, so I think that's irrelevant. Someone brought that up on Twitter, and I was like, bro. But yeah, Phina definitely deserves one, and I hope dancers and healers eventually get refines, because the only dancers that get refines are the legendary mythic ones, you know, with like legendary Azura and Plumeria and Peony getting one. So yeah, it's just sad, and I just wish they, like, why the hell not just give whatever the refine that young Marth gets? Why can't Phina get it too? You know what I mean? Because like, she's a 5-star lock unit. She's even harder to get, the young Marth. So I don't see why they couldn't do it for her. Yeah, it's just sad. Phina definitely deserves better. But yeah, that's pretty much the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think, or what you hope for in young Marth's refine. I kind of went over pretty much everything, because like I said, there isn't too much to take from the main series, because Rapier is a basic weapon, but there is a lot of things they could do for it, and maybe some effects that'd be kind of unexpected, like the reverse desperation that I mentioned, which would be insane. And I think the best case scenario for young Marth, but again, I don't think they're going to go that hard on the weapon refine, because he is a demote and has been on Hall of Forms. But even if they make it like Genesis Falchion level good, because when I reacted to this weapon refine, it obviously disappointed in some aspects, but it's still a really good weapon refine. If they can even make, if they make young Marth's refine even remotely close to Genesis Falchion's refine, I'd be content. But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Please stay safe out there. Peace out.